This is the Black Narrative.
Yo, shalom. This is BlackIce. Welcome to the Black Narrative. Um, Today is Juneteenth. It's funny because I just talked to Keith yesterday. We talk all the time, and we just haven't been in the mood to broadcast. To be honest, we talk all the time. We just feel like we in the season of just observing what's going on around us and in working, and that's what we've been doing. And but this morning, I decided to go ahead and record a show and kind of show, just give some casual thoughts about Juneteenth and personal experience, this past week, because I just thought it was interesting because this last week I endured 3 different programs at my job about Juneteenth. I work for this big corporate organization, and so I guess different departments held different events for about Juneteenth, and I guess they were organized by the black employees of this organization, and so we all on these Zoom calls with hundreds of people in these Zoom calls, and this is the most I ever came across other black employees where I work at, to be honest, because the team I'm a part of right now, I'm the only black male on my team, and I think it's like only 2 other black women, 3 on my team. So I rarely cross paths with all these other employees, especially black employees. And so one of the programs was hosted by this big fund that helps fund that gives out HBCU scholarships. I put it like that. And so of course it is sitting through this program is kind of like it just validated the fact what we always been saying, how like HBCUs are bootleg factories. You know what I mean? Because they all sound the same. You know what I mean? Like I was just reading the chats, and they were taking pride in HBCUs, which even funnier now after we did our broadcast showing how most of these HBCUs are named after white people. So them taking pride. Howard and Jackson State and Bethune-Cookman or Morehouse or Spelman. We shout out all these white name HBCUs, and and not to say these people are bad. It just shows how these colleges indoctrinates our people, and I'm seeing the effects of it, and especially within our women. Like, to be honest, because it was mostly black women in the corporate. It wouldn't mean black men, but the few men that were in there, they part of it. They part of the game. They part of the plan as well. You know what I mean? They just as indoctrinated as well, but they really get to our women. And it's funny we be seeing this great debate about people using the wrong colors. They're using the Pan African colors for Juneteenth, and and not just the white people, it's us. Cause I sat through 3 different programs organized by black employees, and at one time I seen the red, white, and blue flag, Juneteenth flag. Like, they always decorated with Pan African colors in the background, like it was our own. And so, but it's just that mindset. Cause you got to think about, like, a lot of these HBCUs, and this the American education system in general. You get indoctrinated, they indoctrinate you to have, especially now, like a Democrat first mindset. You know what I mean? So instead of a black first mindset. So you see the difference. Yeah. So it was just kind of like I just felt out of place each time. I just kept my mic on mute. I had nothing to say. Like, when you watch these things go down, I just felt like what Yahshua was saying, like, in the Gospels when he was like, let the dead bury the dead. I'm not here trying to save them. I'm not out here trying to change their minds. I'm tired of, we're not here trying to educate every single person about Juneteenth. It is, they gone, and I accepted that fact, basically. And I know it's sad to be like that, but to take my own energy. You know what I mean? So yeah. So after these 3 different programs, I had a team meeting at the end of the week last Friday. And so on my team, I also work with people out the country. I work with some people in India, obviously in tech, and I had some people from I'm not going for me to start a European country on my team. So we had these early morning meetings because the time difference and everything. So it's funny after our team meeting, one of them spoke up and it was like, in the accent, like, yo, what is this? Uh, what is this holiday y'all celebrating on Monday? Because they see Juneteenth on their calendars as well, but they just never heard of it or knew what it was. And again, I'm quiet in the team meeting. And like after I said my piece about what work I'm doing, that was it. So they were asking like it was like 2 or 3 people from that country asking like, yo, like yeah, can y'all explain what Juneteenth is? So I stay quiet just to see how it's gonna play out. So of course everybody gets quiet, and I just felt digital eyes looking at me. You know what I mean? Just being like the only black male on this call. I mean, 2 other black women on this call, but they ain't saying anything either. So I was like, all right. So I guess I had to say something. Like you just feel it. You know what I mean? So I got off mute and explained what Juneteenth was. But I kept the 100. Like I'm not gonna sit here. I say true to me. You know what I mean? So I told him straight up, like, yeah, I know the main narrative, the mainstream narrative is, these slaves wouldn't aware that they were free, and then the Union soldiers had to come down and free them. And I told him straight up, in front of all these white folks, bro, I was like, these slaves did know they were free. They just were not allowed to leave. And I told them the fact that, they say the numbers around 400 slaves, probably more than that, were killed during that time after the Civil War to keep them in fear, to keep them on the plantation in Texas. And that's why the Union Army had to send soldiers with guns to force the slave owners to let to free their slaves by force. So it wasn't like we just didn't know; they just kept working and wasn't aware. Yeah, they knew they were free; they just wasn't allowed to leave. And the people I work with are cool. Like I don't really have issues with anyone, to be honest. I'm very fortunate for that. So, but everybody was just quiet. I guess just kind of like taking it in because that's the narrative that's been passed around. Because especially since we gave up the holiday. We say we want things for ourselves, but as black people, too many of us still want to be accepted by the masses or want to be accepted by the establishment, and we give up what's ours. And Juneteenth is one of them. Like I tell people all the time, I'm waiting for the Juneteenth mattress sale. It's bound to happen. Because it's not a conspiracy, not some wild theory. I'm looking at history past. Memorial Day used to be about us. It used to be about fallen black soldiers. It's not that anymore. You know what I mean? You look at all the other holidays that we have. You change the narrative. Thanksgiving. We all know it was very graphic and bloody and horrific events that happened around that time, but they don't teach that story anymore. We already know how pagan Christmas is, but don't tell that story anymore. And so what makes you think they're gonna keep the story of Juneteenth? They're gonna make it digestible for everybody. That's to be expected. And then even when Keith and I did a broadcast a year or so ago, I guess about 2 years ago when we did this, we showed you the clips from the woman that survived the Tulsa bombings telling, she was at the signing of the bill. Biden turned into a federal holiday saying, Juneteenth is for everyone. So right then and there, we surrendered it. Just so we can be accepted for it. We didn't want to keep it for ourselves, And we also said before this past election, like, they gonna make racism inclusive. And that's basically what they did. Even the company I work for now, they have this inclusive group to be a safe space for everybody. But when I hop in these meetings, everybody's there. Like literally, because like it's nothing specifically for us. You know what I mean? And so we're going through that right now, and also it's June. June is Black Music History Month. That's been around for the longest. But you ask me about what June is now, what is it to them? Pride. Again, they hijacking our history to the point we don't even exist, right? So I'm just kind of just taking all these things in, and it was just wild to me. So I don't knock anyone for celebrating or not celebrating Juneteenth, but at least know what the story is. The slaves knew they were free, and then also we'll think about sometimes we'll think how real the situations are. Like, how hard it was already hard being a slave running from Mississippi up north. All right. So just imagine Texas. Texas is a huge state. Texas is larger than half of damn Europe. You know what I mean? Like it's a huge state, desert. Just imagine as a slave in danger trying to run off north from Texas. Texas heat, lack of resources. Your life is in danger. Like, yeah, I see how they were stuck there until the Union Army, forcefully got them out. And then, of course, our people fought back. And, nobody will talk about all the many rebellions slave rebellions that we had here. But most times we're outgunned, or we had somebody that, a coon, what I'm saying, that gave us up, and we failed. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so, I don't know how it is at your job. I know, you got the day off, take it, enjoy it. If you don't, and somebody asks you, keep it 100 with them. One thing I noticed on Twitter, people know how to talk to other people. Like, you gotta know where you are and how to operate and how to move. You know what I mean? So like, I can still be true to myself and still communicate the truth in a way that I don't have to be yelling in your face either. You know, so even me like correcting my coworkers and letting them know like, yo, the slaves didn't know they were free; they was forced to stay there in fear. I just casually said it. Like, I know how to communicate that without being on their face and being an angry black man to them, right? So I was just thinking about that, and I was just thinking about and then of course after that, this past weekend, yesterday, you had Father's Day, and that's cool too, I guess. But I know for me, like, while everybody out having their Father's Day dinners and whatnot, I was going through my prep stuff, to be honest, because we just found out. Actually, I can kind of show you right here for a second. Yeah, you see right here, man. Like over 150,000 people this past weekend in Jackson didn't have power, right? And yeah, and then on top of that, they still, a lot of people still don't have clean water on top of that, so, which is crazy. And and I was like listening. Well, I wasn't listening. I was reading the conversation on Twitter between these two black women on Twitter that live in Jackson. They were saying how when the power went out, and this is summertime, it's hot, it's humid, and if you're not from the South, it's very hot and humid, right? So you can imagine your air conditioning turn off, how hot your house can get, how muggy it can get, right? So these two black women was talking, and she was saying, yeah, I heard my neighbor's generator cut on, and she was just thinking about how, it's like maybe she shouldn't have bought those plane tickets because Southwest Airlines had like a 40% off sale or something like. They had a huge sale just recently. So like maybe I shouldn't have bought them plane tickets. She got a generator instead. Ain't like priorities. I was like, f them Beyonce tickets, f them, those Miami trips, or people getting these BBLs. It's funny because and then like in the comments, people saying, "Well, generators are expensive." I'm like, well, you could start off with a very small generator, and I was like, I'm just reading through some of the comments, like, yo, this is the same people I saw like giving up everything for Beyonce tickets. And mind you, Beyonce tickets are very expensive. So you talking about buying Beyonce tickets, and then then you buying a flight and a hotel to whatever city you're performing in, because I don't think she was performing in Mississippi. So you flying to catch her, whoever city you're trying to catch her at. So we have flights for that. You got them discounted on Southwest. Then hotel. Then you got to get a new fit. And then you got to get the hair and nails done. Everything for it. So like all that money was your generator. So now like, yeah, you saw Beyonce, but now you're sitting in this hot ass house. Right? And it got so bad in Jackson, in nearby cities, people trying to go to nearby cities for hotel rooms, all booked, all sold out. So it's like, again, us as people are being reactive and not proactive. Like, cause we've been telling you for everything that's going on. This is only the beginning. So knowing that what happened in Jackson and knowing that can happen here where I'm at, I took that time to go through my prep stuff, like, and see what else I needed, and then make sure I won't be caught in a situation like that. Or me and my family caught in a situation like that. So When will we learn? What I mean, like seriously, like we saw what happened in Texas. Like, HARP is serious. HARP is real. I mean, we seen the weather changes in Texas, the blizzards they had. You see what's going on in Jackson, power outages. They just had a water issue not too long ago, and then a couple months ago they couldn't get trash pickup. Like, and each time, like, what are we going to do? You know what I'm saying? And we seen history has shown us what happens when the bad things happen to us. We can't depend on the government to save us or look after us. So it's like at one point you're going to start taking the initiative and be proactive and try to make some changes or prepare for these things. And of course, we can't prepare for everything. We can't all go out here and just dig a bunker and stock it up. I mean, it's small things you can do to prepare. Because like right now, like our system almost crashed twice this year. Like we had the banking crisis back in February, and then we had the debt ceiling thing crisis that just happened. So things are happening. I don't think you know the issue. I guess the issue I have. I guess you can say we have like in Keith and I have been discussing. People still living like everything is still normal, and they don't realize how close our things are from turning upside down. Like we really that close. Like we seriously that close. You know, and nobody even paying attention or making a change or adjustment. They live in life as per normal. Like and and it's sad. What I mean? So it's like and I'm not saying you can't enjoy life and do different things. I'm just saying just be aware and prioritize what's going on. You know, so you'll be stuck in these type situations. Because like it's it's not only sad. And I have a lot of family in Mississippi, and I had some of them that were affected by the power outage. But I'm not only sad for the people that didn't have power. I was thinking about the kids as well, or even you had babies, or if you are needing some type of machine to stay alive or to breathe, and you didn't have a generator to keep it up and going. Like it's I'm thinking about all these things, what I mean? And you know, and we got to get that mindset of just trying to prepare a little bit better. So I'm letting this is what I'm warning to you, and it's not to scare you. This is to help prepare you. And like he's not been saying it for the past 2-3 years. Like, things are going down. Like, I don't know if things gonna pop off today, tomorrow, next week, or 20 years from now, but I know it can happen at any moment, and I want to at least take some type of preparation and put some things together, right? So I was kind of like thinking about those things as well. And then I know there's something else I want to share. I want to share with y'all as well. That was on my mind. Oh yeah, so yeah, and the work that we're doing. So well, first of all, I have been seeing the comments. I know I haven't responded to every single comment. I want to say MC Fact. I did see your comment about the music thing. We have a few requests about that. We haven't done another music show because we got flagged so much, and then when you get flagged and you get strike, when your channel gets strike, it stays on your channel for months later, and like we still have a strike on our channel, it's still not haven't vanished yet. You know what I mean? And we haven't been broadcasting like that, so it's been hard. Like I know I the ongoing conversation about Ice Spice and is the colorism why she popped off, and really it's not. She's an industry plant. Like I know who she's signed with. She signed with 10K Projects Records, and we showed you in the past who owned that record label and how they maneuver the industry. But it's kind of hard to expose these things without getting flagged. So that's why we haven't done it. But we have been seeing your suggestions, and we get around to it as see fit. We just don't want to force it. We're not forcing for us. We're not dependent on content creating, so we don't have to force videos out. Like we can just really do it when our heart moves us to do a show. We appreciate that. But yeah, but we have been working. We still working with 6 Zeros in UX. We also work with another black startup that we came across. It's like a black-owned healthcare life insurance concept that helps generates wealth over generations for black people. And so Keith and I have been working with that organization I can't go too much more into it because it's still very early in our work with them. We've been consulting with them, doing UX, so it's very early. I can't share that much more at this point with that. And then what else we doing? Oh, and then we just shot a commercial which gets released today, I think around noon, Eastern Standard Time. So we shot a commercial last weekend with a pretty big Israelite channel on YouTube, Benea Israel, and it was great working with him. And you have to check out his channel, definitely check it out. We posted in the community page, and so Keith and I, we shot his commercial. So we've been working behind the scenes more than anything else, and we enjoy curating. We don't have to, like for us, we don't have to be in front of the camera. You know what I mean? Like we like creating, whatever form that comes in. So yeah, I will share more about the video, but I'll wait till he releases it later on today. But it's really dope. You should check it out. It came out great. So yeah, so we are working. Yeah, we just not sitting around talking. Like we try to actively working within our community and do other things, and I'm really excited for it. So we got a lot. I feel like this year been good to us, and it's about to get better. We just working ahead, and we prepping, we planning, and it just takes time for things to really pop off, But yeah, anyway, this is a very casual show. Just share some thoughts on my personal experience with Juneteenth. I hope y'all have a great week. Like I said, thank you for the comments, like, share, subscribe, and we keep you posted. Shalom.